Good evening and welcome everybody to another edition of Music and Mixing. I am DJ Michael Joseph and I don't have enough lights on. Hold on. There we go. Is that better? You can see me now. Hope everybody's doing well. Trying to keep an eye on everything to make sure everything's up and running. Yep, there we go. That's probably going to play through like 20 umpteen times. But welcome everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. Thank you for joining me. We are on about 20 places tonight, so it should be good. I have some cool stuff. We're going to talk about DJ Expo tonight. We're going to be talking about different products. We're going to be talking about everything that has to do with the Expo that, that didn't actually happen but is happening. So I want to fix my color a little bit there. Ooh, there I look crazy. Crazy-er. There we go. There's a little bit better. So I definitely want to do some shout-outs in the chat. So if you are in the chat and you are from somewhere, of course you'd be from somewhere. I'm trying to find the chat. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So hello to Alex. What's going on? Definitely from the UK. Alex, what's going on? Thank you. I just want to thank everybody who tuned into my chat just a bit ago. My set that I mixed set a couple hours ago. Thank you for tuning in for that. JC, what's going on? So we have the UK and Mexico, California. Thank everybody for tuning in. Ohio, what's going on? That's Jake. So if you've never seen the show before, I do a lot of like shout outs at the beginning, welcome everybody, that sort of thing, and then we go on into other stuff. How's the video running tonight? Because it looks really choppy here. Just let me know if it's good or bad. At least on my end, it's looking choppy. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I got a full green light over here, so that means it's feeding everything great. So, but like I said, we have some good stuff tonight. Those who tuned in the chat earlier, every year I'm very, very, very blessed to. Montreal. Okay, so we got UK, Mexico, America, Canada. Do we have the far off exotic land of Jacksonville, Florida, in the house tonight too? All right, so they're saying the video's good. Fine, that's good. But like I said, I get to do a set I'm very, very blessed to get to do a set in the Denon DJ's booth at the DJ Expo each year. And since there wasn't one this week they're doing their online thing, so I decided tonight to do my set. And I actually did the same set I did last year there. It's like an hour of real quick mixing, and everybody seemed to have a good time. I'm glad they all hung out. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the products that have been released, or should I say the product. I can try to answer some questions if I can. I'll do my best. John, hello. What's going on? Jake, thank you for letting me know about that. Everybody who's watching out on Facebook or Tom's out on Facebook, appreciate that. And we have people on YouTube. If you don't know where it's at, if you just picked up on this and you want to join like the YouTube chat, it's youtube.com/Disc Jockey News, and that's there. So I appreciate that. So there was an expo going on, whether we knew it or not, and it had a lot of stuff. And I don't know if you visited the expo's site yet, which is where a lot of the stuff, basically I just kind of tune in each day to see where it's at, and that's where it's at. And I'm going to share that screen if I can do this right. Yay, it worked this week. Okay, so this was the basic, when you go to the site, so there wasn't a lot. Let me go back here. Maybe I should try to figure out how to share both. Hold on here. Back to the Logitech. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Then we're going to go back to here, and we're going to paste that there, and then we'll put me down in the corner. Yay, or somewhere in there. So this was the site, basically. Like I said, you go there each day. There wasn't a lot to it. At least I didn't think there was as much as there should have been. I was expecting live shows. I was expecting all kinds of stuff, but there just wasn't. I'm thinking, and I kind of got this idea from John, where he said that when other expos tried to do a live thing like we do, they were having some trouble, and I think the expo just didn't want to go down that right. Plus, that's not their forte. They do a lot of pre-recorded interviews of DJ artists and all kinds of stuff like that. If you ever tune into their YouTube channel, there's a lot there. But this is basically the thing. They had 4 sections covered: exhibitors, seminar, performances, and giveaways. And there's all kinds of stuff going on here. All of these are inside each one of those things, and I'm going to get to it here in a second and kind of look at it. But they talk about the exhibitors, and exhibitors kind of had their own pages. So since ADJ is first, nope, I'm going to skip ADJ. I'm going to do Denon, since they're my people. They're my peeps. But if you go to the Denon page, this is the Denon exhibitor page. And all of the pages that are exhibitor pages look like this. So it's basically some information telling you about either products, the company, different things like that. And that's pretty much a vendor booth when it comes to this expo thing. We'll pick another one. DJ Event Planner is one of our sponsors. We'll go to theirs. We want to thank them for sponsoring for sure. And this is the basic simpleness of it, what's going on. It'll lead you to the website and the Facebook and Twitter and all these things. There's some discount, different things that you can get, stuff like that. And pretty much all of them had something, talking about something. Let me find another one that's kind of a little bit out there. We'll look at Pioneers. Pioneer does have the new controller that came out this week. I did do a video on it, so please go to Disc Jockey News and look for the video for the new Pioneer controller. Of course, they have the 3000. There's the controller right there. We're going to be talking about it in a minute, the FLX6. But they have some other stuff out. I thought they were supposed to come out with some more stuff today, but they didn't. So the expo is still one more day, so there's a chance we'll get some more stuff tomorrow. But this is basically the vendors area. Everything's like that. You can go there and check stuff out. Like I said, there are areas that you can get discounts on things through some of them. You can go in there and they'll give you a discount on something if you go online. I think Ape Labs had one. I'm not sure. I will definitely talk about the FLX6 here in just a bit. So Ape Labs did not have a special, because some of them are doing specials. You can go there and different things like that. But that's basically the exhibitor area, which is different than we're used to. The seminar area, which I thought there was going to be a lot more also, were just one seminar per day, two technically today. Was it two? No, two yesterday. Two today also? Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3 today, and 1, 2, 3 yesterday. That's the keynote. I didn't get to watch this keynote yet. So there's videos every day about stuff. Some of them are kind of neat. It's not. Some of them are seminar oriented, and I'm talking like a panel talking about stuff and questions and all that sort of thing. But that's basically the gist of the seminars. I will answer questions about that if you have any questions about that. Let me slip over to the performances. Again, way different than I thought it would be. They just had a video each day, and a lot of them are pre-recorded quite a while ago, which I didn't understand that they didn't do special stuff for this, but it's okay. But they had performances by all these different people, and you can go check it out. I'll be checking before we go to the giveaways. I want to go back to the chat, see if there's any questions there. Yeah, Alex asked me about the DDJ FLX6. I'll talk about that here in a second. But they also had giveaways each day you can sign up for, and they show each person that wins stuff. And there was the Digital DJ Expo speaker giveaway, and then there was this one here that is the Digital DJ Expo giveaway, Hercules Odyssey case, and I think it's called Billabox. And if you look, they show what the things are. There's the case, the stand, Odyssey stand, and this. They were for some reason this. I think it's called a Blip Box. Yeah, Blip Box, and they're like kids' toys about music and noise. And I'm not sure why it's part of the giveaway, but they are doing these giveaways. And look who the idiot that won the first day's door prize is. I can't believe this sucker did this. So I was the winner for the first day, and I get that toy, which I've already had people tell me I have to do a video on it, so I guess I have to do a video on it. The Odyssey case, I'm interested. I mean, the Odyssey stand, not Odyssey stand. I can't even talk. Hercules stand and Odyssey case. I'm interested in seeing the stand, the case. I probably will end up selling the case because it's nothing that I could use, and since it is for the new S11 mixer, I know boatloads of people that might pay cash straight out for it. But I'll do a review. I'll definitely do a review video on it long before I sell it. So all this stuff I'll try to do a review on. But yeah, they picked me first day, and I didn't even know about it. Somebody sent me a text and said, hey, congratulations on winning. And I'm like, what? And they went and showed it to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. So, but each day they have giveaways. They have more stuff going on. I didn't get to see who won today's. Did they pull it yet? I'm not sure when they pull it. Let's see. And the winner is... It's not been pulled yet. I did sign up for this one too, but it has not been picked yet. There's a total of, you still have 107 minutes to enter it. That many in there. So, let's go back to the chat. If I can figure out, gosh, I don't even know what buttons I'm pressing tonight. So, thank everybody for tuning in. I know we kind of got picked up with a lot of people earlier, and our numbers are bouncing up and down. But if you have questions about this, I'm definitely going to talk next about the DDJ FLX6. But if you have any other questions, feel free to throw them in any of the chats. I'm trying to watch both the Facebook and the YouTube chats tonight, so I hope everybody's enjoying that. Let me bring up the Pioneers page and show you some nice pictures of the... of the new controller. I have them in there from when I did the video. So keep in mind, I do have a video. So if you want to see the video, go and look on Disc Jockey News while I'm trying to find the pictures. You'd think that'd have a picture clicker right up front. There it is. For those who have picked up, just to throw this out there, those who have picked up the Pioneer DDJ 1000. This one is slightly smaller, but half the weight of the DDJ 1000. Let me open up some other pictures here so we have all the pictures we want to look at here. One more second. I got 2 more pictures to open up. And one more. All right, so left screen. There we go. I'm back in there, and I'll move me out of the way the best I can. So this is the new controller. It is a 4-channel digital controller. It does have some pretty special things with it. These up here, the Merge FX, are specialty effects that both can let you connect multiple effects at the same time and create very unique, like I don't want to call them drop transmissions, but they're kind of like you put the transition on the left side and it's almost like an echo out, but it's not an echo out. It's a lot of other things put together, and then you would play, like if you're doing the effect over here on the left deck, you would then press play on the right deck. In the video that they have out, you can go and look at that. It's neat. It's not my kind of thing, but it is neat. You guys know that I'm a big virtual fan, and with virtual, I combined effects all the time. With Serato's new updates and their MIDI mappable, they're now very capable of doing the multiple at a time. This currently is mapped for Rekordbox and Serato. It may already be out for virtual. I'm not sure. I haven't got to check today, but I checked when it came out. It wasn't out then, but virtual usually takes 2 days. I mean, because this is pretty much a generic controller. And there are some special things is why they have them for just Serato and Rekordbox. If you go into Rekordbox with this Merge FX thing, it actually has a menu that lets you pick, mix and match, I guess is the best way to say it. There's an actual menu in there to mix and match the effects quite easily without having to do anything more than open up a menu, click here, click there. Now your 2 effects are added to that thing. So it is kind of neat how they have that built in there. There was some other things that somebody was saying that it is on a Rekordbox. You can do some of them with the fader on this side, on the right side, and bring in the left. But with Serato, if you trigger the effect, it does not give you the other deck until that effect is finished. But on Rekordbox, you can have sound from both decks at the same time while the effect is finishing. So that was kind of a neat thing that they did with that. Some of the other things on here that they have, is called this Jog Cutter right here. And basically, if anybody has virtual or a couple of the other programs that have the automatic scratch, this is kind of like an automatic scratch on steroids. Because what it does is when you press it, it then triggers an effect, like an echo effect or something like that, where it triggers it on beat. Okay, so this is going to do those scratch effects on beat. But as you turn the platter around, there are different scratch patterns all the way around. So you could be here and it could be doing one pattern. You turn the wheel a little bit this way clockwise, and it will do another effect, another effect, another effect, another effect all the way down through there. So there are different types of cuts as you move that around, but they are pre-made cuts and transforms and different things like that, scratch patterns, and that's done just with that button and triggered that way. What was the other thing that I thought was really cool that they added? What was it? I know that they have the beat effects set in there, so you can have the channel select on the beats right there. That was one thing. You definitely have a dial and load right there, so you have the ability to do that. Oh, the other thing was the sampler thing. That's what it was. The S11 came out with this, so those who saw the S11 mixer, one of the things it has with it is that these banks here, like on virtual we have pad modes that you can make the pads anything. Well, one of the pad modes or sample banks, you can put in your scratch samples right there. So if you hit the shift button and the sampler, well, if you don't hit the shift button, sampler is the sampler, and then shift button is the scratch samples. So what it does is it gives you quick access while a deck is playing to throw a sample on here that you scratch with and just hit it and scratch, and throw another one and hit it and scratch. Not with the Jog Cutter thing, but you as an actual DJ, you have your scratch samples, and you can set them all up with different scratch samples. So all you have to do is hit a button and then start scratching. It's that quick. And that was one of the things, like I said, came on the S11. It is on this one, and I thought that was really, really cool. Let's take a couple more looks at it here. This is the front side. It does have a 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch headphone jack. It has a level, a mix, and a mic level. The mic level is the mic connection is in the back, and it does have a trim on it. Where's the back at? There's the back. Nope, that's still the front. There's the back. Okay, so here's your balanced mic in with a trim on there on top of, you also have a mic volume. So you have both of those. Unfortunately, it is an RCA out for both the master and the booth. You have no options other than that. So if you're DJing somewhere that you need an XLR cord, you will have to use an adapter, which is not bad. It's okay. There is no power cord because it is USB powered only. So when you plug this into your laptop, this is what powers the controller. You do not need a power cord also. One of the other things was, what was I going to point out there? It wasn't the mic. It was the USB. It was something else I was going to point out. The fader is not replaceable, so that's one thing. It has a really short pitch fader, but I've heard people who have used it says that it's really smooth. It's surprisingly smooth, which doesn't surprise me. Pioneer's good about that kind of stuff. What was the other thing that I was going to... Oh, I was going to talk about the center of the jog wheels, because these are the larger jog wheels like that are on the Pioneer 1000. They feel really good, and also that has the little indicator for your needle, as you turn. If you want to scratch, it goes around, which is a standard on all Pioneers. So if you're used to Pioneer's equipment, this is going to kind of feel at home for you. I was told that it has the digital platters, unlike certain CDJs have a mechanical platter. And if you know what I'm talking about, CDJs, you know what that is. It's hard to explain. One's a touch sensitive, one is an actual mechanical press on the thing. They're two different things. This is the digital touch, not the mechanical, so that gets it there. It is running about $600. Like I said, it's about 8 pounds. Was it 8 pounds? 6 pounds. 6 pounds. So it's around 6 pounds, but it's slightly lighter, slightly smaller than the 1000. It is kind of aimed at a beginner DJ, a home DJ, someone who's new at it. That gives them some learning tools, and like that cut effect. That's kind of for someone who doesn't scratch or stuff like that. This kind of gets them to learn things about that. But it is solid. I mean, it's Pioneers. I mean, so your pads are going to be Pioneer pads. Your play button's going to be Pioneer play button. So a lot of the stuff that you're used to, it's going to be, if you're a Pioneer person, it's going to be right, online with everything that you already have. So I hope you guys, it's terrible that some of this stuff we're not going to get to touch for a long time unless we know someone that purchased it. For those of us who go to the expo just mainly to put our hands on equipment, we don't get to do that this year. So it may be a year before I get to touch that. So that's kind of crazy to think about that. Is there any questions in the chat about the FLX6 or anything like that? Definitely taking some questions tonight, trying to see everybody there. Got people on all kinds of places. Any other questions about the chats or anything? I mean, not the chats, but the expo stuff that's on the sign, on the page. I expected more, and I don't mean to cut on them because I'm not in their shoes and I don't know what they have to go through to do some of this stuff. So me saying I thought there'd be more, I'm not insulting anybody. I know that they have a lot of resources, and I kind of thought they would do more. But who knows, Every once in a while, you got to take a break. This time, with everything going on, you have to, be with your family and stuff like that. So it is, it's tough. It's a tough time. John says, I'm looking, all in capital, for a new controller that has motorized platters. Can you give me some recommendations? Well, you are quite limited. I want to tell you that. So does it have to be a controller, or can it be individual decks? That's, I guess, the first question I ask. Denon has motorized platters in both the 5000 and the 6000. They're kind of expensive. You can probably still find used Newmark NS7s and the S7, which is the individual ones, like the DDJ, not the DDJ, like the SC6000, SC5000 motorized. It's the M, so it's the 5000M and the 6000M is the motorized. You can go to the Rain. I do believe that, this is just wild speculation, so don't quote me on this, that Pioneer is working on the equivalent of the Rain 12, which makes perfect sense. Denon is also, they've snuck some pictures out. If you've seen the Denon SC6000 motorized, they're putting one out, or it's supposed to be, because I've seen sneaky pictures that people have kind of stole of it. So take the screen off the 6000, and it's just a motorized platter. Those are supposed to be coming out too. So you could just put any mixer you want in the center with those, and they're smaller than the Rain 12s, but it still works on the same concept as the Rain 12. It is a motorized platter, just like that, with little, records, quote unquote, on it. I don't know on those, if you had to, could you put a phase system on if you had to? I'm guessing as long as it spins as 33 1/3 speed, it would work if push comes to shove and you needed that for some reason, but crap happens. So those, you're really limited on the motorized right now. There just isn't much out there. Nobody's really doing much with that. I'm not sure why, but I think there's going to be more. I really do. I do believe there's going to be more. So keep an eye out. I'm telling everybody, wait until after the first of the year, because I think that's when it's going to be a re-evaluating of things, because people are going to, the companies themselves are going to be looking at their budgets and different things like that, because they've already started laying people off a long time ago. From what John said, all of the companies, all of them pretty much have reduced their staff by at least 40%. So next year, it's hard to say if there will be as much budget to make new products. So we may not get as many new products next year. But we could get flooded. Who knows? But that's what I would tell you. Wait till after the first of the year and kind of see what's there if you are searching for motorized. But those are your only options for motorized right now, at least. Would you... what was the best controller that you bought and DJ mixed? For me, my favorite is my 7000 so far. I love that 7000. I beat it up. I mean, if you see my equipment, because I'm out, like I said, I'm out three or four nights a week for hours on end. I'm doing stuff here in the studio. My equipment gets hours and hours of work each single week. And I'm not talking about press and play, walking over here. I'm mixing and just constantly on it for 4 hours straight, multiple nights a week. So it has been really good to me. It's light. It's about 15 pounds. I like it because it's got a good size to it, so you're not all cramped in. But also the 1000 and the 1000 SRT are also awesome. I would possibly consider that 1000 from Pioneer if it had a split cue and a curve control on the crossfader. And I'm not even sure if their crossfader's replaceable on that. Hold on one second here. Let's see. I think it is replaceable, because that'd be terrible if it wasn't. And it is. I can't see that picture. It is not replaceable. So the 1000's crossfader is not. So that's another. I don't want to say down, but that's another thing that I want is a replaceable fader. So there's a lot with that one that I think is great, but there's a lot to me is missing. The 7000 is 4 or 5 years old. No, 3 years old, almost 4, and I don't know what I'm going to do next, because the stuff that Denon, I love Denon stuff. I've always used them for the past 2 decades. But a lot of their new stuff, like the Prime 4, the Prime 2, the Prime Go, the SC5 and 6000s, are all ones that I don't like. The Prime 4's platters are super heavy. They're not good for scratching and stuff like that. And it's also heavy itself, too. It's much heavier. It's just not something I want to own. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do when it comes time to needing something. But right now, like I said, my 7000 is awesome. I kind of do like the 5 and 6000s by Denon, but they're crazy expensive, way more than I want to pay, because I'd have to put money into a mixer also that works with them, and that, it's like the Reigns. You put several $1,000s into that. Maybe if they made the smaller motorized ones, maybe I'd switch that and maybe get an S11 mixer and 2 of those or something. I'm not sure. But right now, I'm kind of limited. If I would pick my ones from each brand, it would be the Denon 7000, which is discontinued. It would be the either the 1000 SRT or just the 1000. They both work for what I have. It's just little things here or there different. I'd like the Newmark Mixtrack Platinum FX, I think it's called. It has paddle effects like the S9 and S11 mixer has. I'm hoping that they maybe make that into a full-size pro level controller, because it's not a pro level, it's like a mid-level. So those are my 3 favorites. I've used all of them. I've used the Roland ones. I'm not a big fan of the Roland ones. There's nothing wrong with them. I know guys who have them and love them. So you kind of have to find what works for you. It's not always what's the best. It's things you like and things you don't like. So that's the best I can do. I hope that works. I'm looking at the Prime 4 mixer. Is it worth it? Again, it all depends on what you want when it comes to the Prime 4, because it is intended to be a standalone. So that means that if you're going to DJ with it without your laptop, number one, you're going to have to convert all your songs to some sort of audio file. It cannot play video files, which that's one of my problems. My library is mostly video files. So I would have to convert everything before I even put it into that Prime 4. And I just don't want to do that. I don't feel the need that I should have to do that. So I'm going to wait. I know that you can plug in the laptop to that, because it does work on laptop mode with all the softwares. But it just doesn't seem... For me, it's not what I want, but I know guys who have it and the Prime 2, and they love it. They have walked away from their laptop, and they do all of their events with just that. So again, is the laptop something that you are very comfortable walking away from? And again, like for me, I'm going to lose cue points and stuff like that. Play count, which I'm not willing to do at this point. If they bring up the Engine Prime software to where it will transfer like play counts and different things like that, I'm okay with that. But I know it does transfer crates and playlists and stuff like that, but I don't know about like play counts and cue points and stuff. Possibly. It's been a year since I've worked with it, because I spun on it last year at the Expo, and I had one in the studio for about 3 weeks. but I don't remember like what it all transfers. I think I had to start over again. But there's little quirks with it that I don't like. But again, try to find someone in your area that has one and ask them if you can come and try it out sometime. Because trust me, if somebody owns one, they're willing to they want to talk about it. Because everybody who has that is like, oh man, I got it. You want it? You want to talk? It's something you get excited and get to talk about. So again, plus the price. It's pretty high price too. So there you go. So many DJs are selling their equipment. It's kind of sad. Some of them are selling it to get out. Some of them are selling because they have, like, some people buy a lot of equipment and are hoarders, and they're just thin and they're hurt out. I had a friend of mine who does weddings. He's full-time wedding DJ, like incredible weddings. Just put a bunch of stuff up for sale, and it wasn't because of anything bad. It was because that he just saw a bunch of equipment sitting around that was being used, and he just said, I want to thin it out because I want to get. He actually posted today a picture of his Pioneer S11 mixer he just got. So once we get out of this lockdown sort of thing, I'd like to drive to his house and check it out sometime. I don't want to go there. He has a whole family, and I don't want to mess with that whole kind of thing right now. But I'm interested in trying it. So that's why they're selling. It's not a bad thing, but that's kind of why. Just going to looking down the questions here. I'm using the DDJ SRX ATM, looking to upgrade from it. SRX. Give me a second. I have to look what that up is. I can't even speak. Because Pioneer has so many that it's tough to keep up on which one until I look at it. It is. All right, so that is. Oh, that's the one that is. That's a record box only, if I'm correct. Please let me know if that's what that is. That is, if I'm correct, that is a record box only. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, why do you want to upgrade from this? I think that's the best where I can start with that. Why do you want to upgrade from the SX? Because that might help me out a little bit. Because it's solid. It's not bad, but I want to find out why you want to upgrade. I'm trying to pick up a better picture of the SRX. So is there a difference between the SRX and the SX? Help me out with that too. Somebody actually has something here marked SRX, and I don't think there is. I think it's just SX. Let's go back to the chat and see. I'll come back to Alex. Let me know about that, why you want to switch there. Day and Night says he has so much equipment around he doesn't know what to do with it. You should just hold a yard sale for DJs. Get some people. We've done that here in Pittsburgh, where we've all pitched in money to rent a fire hall for the afternoon, set up tables, and set up our equipment, and just called it a DJ flea market. And you could buy, pay for a table and sell your equipment to anybody, and everybody just showed up and did stuff like that. It was kind of neat. Okay, so yeah, the SX. Let me know why you want to upgrade from that, because it's not that bad. Hello, Howie. Welcome. Yeah, so I don't know if you have any more Expo questions or anything like that. I'm good too, or if you want to talk about equipment. I'll try to bring up a picture of the SRX. No, that's the DDJ. This is the X. I can't even speak. I just came from the dentist and I can't speak. So this is the SX right there. I believe that's the SX, right? Yeah, that's the SX. And like I said, I'm kind of curious to why you want to switch, because it's pretty solid, unless it's just old and used. I mean, because that happens. So let me know if that's why you want to kind of switch out, but let me know. Back to here, back to the questions. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for being a part of this. I know this is kind of a down show, a little bit energy compared to what we were before, but we're just trying to, it's different. There's not going to be one next week. We have a holiday coming up that we can't have more than 10 people in, so that'll be interesting. Not that I ever have anybody for Thanksgiving, so, that's just the way it rolls. You know what I mean? So let me know. Again, we're here. Any questions in the chat? What's going on? Let me see if I got something on Facebook here. Okay. So SX, yeah. Let me know, Alex, why you want to switch from the SX. Was it Alex that wanted to switch from the SX? Whoever did, let me know why you want to switch, and I will help you there. The DDJ SX has mic and preamp problems. That's one of the weird things about Pioneer, and I don't mean to sound this like I'm cutting on them, but they have a habit when they design their stuff to, on some of the units, not all of them, where the mic channel and channel 3 and 4 are shared, what I call a shared channel. One of the things I was talking about with Dan Carpenter, and I don't remember which one he has, is that when setting up some of this stuff, I had to kind of learn how they do that channel sharing and try to figure out the mic thing, because it was really difficult for me, because you're MIDI mapping multiple things in one place, to where on like mine, channel 3 and 4 are dedicated 3 and 4, and like I said, on the 7000, their channels 3 and 4 are dedicated 3 and 4, and the mics, the two mics on it, are not passed through the software unless you choose to pass them through. So you could use that as a mixer and a mic without even having a laptop hooked up to it. The mics are separate from the software. So when you're plugging a mic into that, it's running through, and it's nothing to do with the software. Everything that gets fixed and adjusted is hardware adjustments in the controller itself. But like I said, certain Pioneer ones are kind of goofy with that. If you want to go with Pioneer again, do you need two mics? Is that, because is that part of the problem? That it's just that the mics, because that's what a lot of guys run into, even with the S11. Jay from Pioneer was saying that when they ask him about it, what kind of things would you like to see on the S11 mixer, their brand new expensive $2,000 mixer? He said, how about a second mic channel? And they're like, no, it won't fit with this audience. So there are different audiences for different things. So for some people, no mics, it doesn't even matter if it has any mics. So one of the things with the S11 is they only put one mic on it, because guys who use that aren't doing double mics. So if you're using a controller and you need the double mics, that's something you kind of need to think about. There's nights I go out, I never touch a microphone all night long. I just mix. They don't want people on the mics at certain places. Other places, it's okay to talk. But it just has to be there. So is the SX3, does it have, day and night, does the SX3 have two mics or one? Yeah, day and night saying that the Roland 707 has two dedicated mic channels. I did a video on it also, so if you go to discjockeynews.com, Disc News on YouTube, and search for Roland 707, when it came out at the Expo last year, I did a full video on it and had them talk me through all the special effects on the mics and different things. It's kind of unique how they have that all set in the microphones, because you can do separate channels in, separate channels out, just for mics alone. I have not heard that plugged into a system, so I don't know how. Again, that's like the Denon, where the mics are hardware, not software, so everything is done within that controller, and the mics on that one are done that way, and I don't know what kind of amp it has. And I think that's a big deal, because let me do you a perfect example. The Denon 6000 MK2 was the one prior to that, the smaller one. I had one of those, and I plugged it in a place, talked in the mic, and did all these different things, and came back the next week with the 7000, and I could not believe how much better the 7000 sounded from the 6000. The 7000 is a pro-level controller, and that's the difference between buying a $500 controller and a $1,000 controller, is the things that are in the $500 controller are not pro-level. So even though the 6000 is considered a pro-level thing, the technology is so much newer from the 6000 to the 7000 that I was blown away by how much better the 7000 sounded. So just things like that. So if that's important to you, you need to shop up higher. You cannot buy a $250, $500 controller and expect good microphones, because that's not what they're designed for. Think about the one we just did, the FLX6. That is considered, it's $600, okay? $600, and it is considered a beginner controller. Not intermediate, not pro, beginner, $600. So keep that in mind. Okay, see here. Roland has two dedicated mic channels, two more channels, 3 for total mics. So they have a lot of mics on there. Like I said, go look at the video on Disc Jockey News, and just search for Roland 707 video on Disc Jockey News' YouTube channel. And I had the guy from Roland do a full walkthrough on everything. It was kind of neat. It was a good thing. I'm not even on the camera. I'm just letting him talk, so you don't even have to look at me. SX3 has 3 mic inputs, so there you go. That's something maybe you can consider. I always tell people, find someone in your area who has that and ask them if you can check it out. I mean, right now with COVID, it's kind of tough, but I can't tell you how many times I wanted to look at equipment and found somebody who had it and said, hey, can I stop by your gig and look at it? And they're like, oh, absolutely, come on over. And you make friends that way too, because they're people, like I said, we as DJs and gearheads love to talk about that kind of stuff, so it's always something good here. They're saying about the SX3s, mic channel 3 is bad. Again, you kind of have to look at that. The SX3 is may not be considered a pro level. I was talking to a friend of mine the day that the FLX6 came out, and I was telling him how many wedding DJs I know who run their controller into a higher level mixer and plug their mics into the higher level mixer, and then from the higher level mixer goes out to their speakers. And he was blown away by that. He's like, why are they doing that? I said, because they're buying a $250 controller that maybe has only one mic, and that one mic isn't all that great. It maybe only has like a tone control, doesn't have a high, mid, low, maybe doesn't even have an echo on it, and they want better mics. And he's like, well, why don't they just buy a better mixer, better controller? I said, well, not everybody has that much money, plus a lot of the people who use them, you guys who use them, don't necessarily scratch and mix and do all kinds of stuff. You press play. So for what you do, you need the multiple mics on the larger mixer, but you need a play button and volume on the controller. So that fits what you need. So that could be a route you may need to think about if you want to spend a lot more on a controller that's more expensive and have those options, or put it towards a dedicated mixer that you can run everything through. Like I said, a lot of people do that. I don't. Like when I do my mobile gigs, I'm going mic into the thing, XLRs out to the speakers, and that's it. I don't even mess around. So it's just I'm running it all off one thing. So yeah. Any other questions? These are some freaking awesome questions. You guys are coming with stuff that's like totally different tonight, and I love that. Yeah. So, yeah, hit me up with anything. It's nice to talk about gear. Like I said, I'm looking for something, like I said, because the 7000, I have 2 of them. One's used I bought because I bought a used one while my original one went to get repaired because, like I said, I'm using it so much. I had the headphone cue buttons and stuff got kind of catchy. They weren't like really smooth clicks. So I spent a couple $100, sent it away to get it repaired, and bought a used one for a while, and ended up taking the one that I got repaired and keeping it as my backup, and my used one has been my main one, and now a year later from that, I'm having button problems with it. So like I said, I use it a lot. So I am looking for something, but like I said, right now I don't know. I was hoping that this week being the Expo week, that several companies would show more equipment. Again, tomorrow is the last day of that expo. So maybe there will be some more stuff announced tomorrow. I don't know. I know that I was told that Denon was, like before all this lockdown happened, Denon was supposed to release stuff in July. Not Serato, but Pioneer had stuff in the spring and fall plan, releases for 2 different things. And I think that's part of the 3000 CDJ, and the S11 was part of that, and I don't know when those were supposed to be released, and this one. So there is stuff coming. How much is the DDJ SX now? See if I can find a price on it here. No, I don't want to go to the SRX. I still am searching for that. Here it comes. Super slow. It's still $1,000. Yeah. And they have that special silver edition too, which I thought was kind of, no, that's the SB3, sorry. Yeah, so the SX3 is just over 1,000. DDJ 800. That's the one. Okay, so the DDJ 800. Let me go left screen here if I can. Left screen. So this one right here, the DDJ 800, which is the smaller version of the DDJ 1000, is one that a lot of people are liking. But they're not happy with some of the outs on it, because if I'm correct, it does not it has RCA outs on it. And if I'm correct, this one, it currently will not work with Serato. Let's find the back on this. Do they have a back? There's the back. Okay. So, no, they have master XLR outs and unbalanced RCA outs. So that's good. That's not too bad. Does it have a power, or is it powered off the USB? Nope, right there's the power, so it has that too. But this is the one that a lot of people like because it's slightly smaller. Let's do a picture there of it. It's slightly smaller, but again, like the original 1000 did not work with Serato, this 800 does not work with Serato. So that was one of the things a lot of people are talking about. They would like to see this as that works with Serato. Let me find the back again. Where's the back? There's the back. All right, so there's your booth out. So you have 2 mics, a XLR combo, a 1/4 inch, and a balanced. So you have 2 mics on this one. So I think this is why some of the guys liked it, because it did have 2 mics on it. Let's see if we can see the top and see mic controls. Like, so I think that might be as its own channel. So you have a high, mid, and low. So that these are your mic controls right here, over here, kind of where that's at. So you do have a high, mid, and low on the mics. No, you have a high and low on the mic. Sorry, mic 1 and mic 2, gain, and a high and low on the mic. So it's still not great. How much is this running right now? About $800. So that could be something that they come out with that is Serato usable soon. But a lot of guys like that because it's smaller, but still all the stuff is really good on that. Somebody there asked about the Prime 4 again. I already covered the Prime 4. Again, like I said, the Prime 4 for me, what the thing that hurt it for me was that I don't like the platters. They're real heavy, but some people don't scratch a lot, so it doesn't even really matter what you use that for. But if you want to switch to being a standalone, you're going to have to convert your whole library over, like I said, because mine is a lot of video, so I would have to convert everything over to audio files of some sort, and I'm just not ready to do that yet. I have a subwoofer. Do JBL PRX 818 XLF sound better than Alto TS? I've not heard either one of those enough to compare, but I'm going to tell you right now that I think that the JBL sounds much better than the Alto TS. Not saying the Alto TS is bad, but I would without hearing them, that would be my guess, is the JBL's better, but I've not heard them, so I have no idea honestly to compare them to. Day and Night was saying about it's worth a few extra $100 for the 1000. I think so too. I think I don't know why people like the 800. I have several friends that own the 800. They love it, and I'm not sure what the big draw is. Maybe just because it's smaller, not much smaller, but it's smaller. XZ, no substitute. XZ is big. That's another one it's out there. It's big. Is it the SC that's the big one, if I'm correct on that? Yeah, it's not giant, but it's good too. Again, all of those Pioneers, if you like Pioneer, all of those are going to fit into what you're looking for. That you're not going to have to go very far out on the deep end to find some of this stuff. So if you like the Pioneer stuff's there. Someone was saying the 815 weighs about 30 pounds less than the 18. Yeah, but you got to think it. 18s are 18s. If you know what 18s sound like, 18s are crushing. There's just nothing like an 18. If you want that crushing sound, consider Bass Boss. You're going to pay thousands more. But I think it's funny to hear people say, oh, no, my such and such is as good as Bass Boss. My such and such is as good as Bass Boss. Every single person I've ever heard say that, when they hear Bass Boss, they go, I would need 2 of everything I have to compare to 1 of that. That literally is the power of Bass Boss. I cannot tell you that there is no speaker that I've ever heard that can compare to any Bass Boss speakers. They will cost you 4 times as much, but I'm telling you, there is no speaker I've ever heard that can compare to that. So that's just my opinion. You guys have got some freaking awesome questions tonight. I'm so happy you guys are coming with these questions. This is awesome. We just have a couple minutes left. Throw your final questions out, and I'll kind of do my last shout out about the expo. So like I said, that's what tonight's show is about, covering the new virtual expo this year and how it was and different things like that. So any last questions before we go? Like I said, I also want to talk about stuff that Disc Jockey News got coming up, stuff we're planning for. As you know, we do a lot of live stuff, so we're doing 4 live expos next year. And one of them, I'm trying to talk John into letting me do a live demo room. And the live demo room is I'm going to get together with a bunch of my friends who have some of the new equipment, like the S11 mixer and stuff like that, and do a live, like, Zoom type thing to where I'm in the room with my friends who have all the equipment and carrying a video camera and a mic and being able to show you the different pieces of equipment used live. And that's what I'm hoping that might come out and give us a thing like that. So we'll see here. It's strange they stopped vinyl, now bringing back they should do tapes. I didn't want to get into this whole vinyl thing because everybody's, vinyl, it went up 11%. Now, if you look at that 11%, it went up 11% for that. But overall, if you look at all vinyl sales compared to all digital sales, and still there's some people buying CDs, it's less than 0.1% of the overall music. Vinyl represents less than 0.1% of all the other stuff, album sales, the digital side. If you want tapes, come on, I got bins of them here because I used to love buying tapes. That's the only thing you could really play in the car for the longest time. You DJ'd with the records, you had to have something in the car, so I just had tapes. I was always a tape person for years, so. And then CDs came along, and then I was at my happiest when I was able to play stuff off the phone. Now I have not listened to a terrestrial radio station or touched a CD in more than 10 years, probably 15 years. I've been listening to internet radio through my phone, in my car, and everywhere for at least past 15 years. So I like it. It's there. So no more questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on a couple things. The Virtual DJ Expo, they were at least trying to do something. We don't know what next year is going to be like. Like I said earlier, when it comes to some of the brands, I think there's going to be less simply because no one's going to know which direction we're going to go, how close or how soon we're going to get back to normal. And that both comes with what DJs have to purchase, like money they have to purchase, gigs they're going to have. So there's going to be a whole thing there where the companies are kind of, pulling the reins back a little bit, not really going head deep into this. So you might not see as much equipment next year. The expo itself might be a little bit smaller, simply part of it because some DJs might not have as much money next year, because I'm telling you, businesses, as soon as things open back up, it's not like we're going to be back to normal, because businesses are going to be playing catch up from all what they lost. So for some people, it's probably going to be a booming business. They're prepared to just take all, I can do that gig, I can do that gig, I can do that gig, and other people aren't. So it's going to be a little bit strange. So as we go into next year and to different expos, whether it be stuff like the stuff out in California and different things like that, that were normally presented for early spring, they're not going to be there. So we're not going to see anything that was our normal scheduled electronic events until possibly summer or next fall at the expo. So you have to kind of look at that swing of stuff. So there might not be stuff coming until then. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. But in the spring, early spring, John is going to be doing several live DJ Expo things where there's going to be seminars, people speaking. Like I said, the video I'm trying to do about the product demos. We are trying to integrate. You've heard me talk on the show a zillion times about group classes. So when we do that virtual expo, like we did the one before, we're going to do it, I think it's January or February. Don't quote me on that. One of those two. We're trying to put in a group class as part of that. So keep an eye out for that. We're trying to put it, so it's a behind a firewall sort of thing, a paywall, so that you guys can, it can be yours. So those people who want in on it can get in on it, and you're not going to have a bunch of yahoos yapping at your ear just because it's on Zoom. It's going to be limited and stuff like that. So there are some great stuffs coming up. So I'm excited about that. Again, I thank you guys for tuning in. You make this freaking show awesome every week. Again, we have... tonight we have Canada, U.S., Mexico, UK, Australia, and I don't know if I missed anybody else, but that's awesome that we're able to touch base with each other from all around the world, from me in my little studio here. Thank you again for whoever tuned into my mix show earlier. I had a blast. You saw that. I love to mix, so I let go tonight, mix what I wanted to. I played a lot of Michael Jackson. This afternoon, the Off the Wall album, I must listen to 3 or 4 times on my phone as I'm running around. So that was the kind of mood I was in today. Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. So I thank you guys for all being a part of this. There is no show next Wednesday night because Thanksgiving's on Thursday. I'm just not going to do a show next week. I'm not a big holiday person, so I'm going to try to focus on relaxing my mind and not being stressed out by holidays. So I'm going to try my best. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. So no show. So our next show will be Wednesday, December 2nd. So we're already going to be into December. So 2 weeks from tonight, December 2nd, normal. That's a normal Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Join me for that. So as I end tonight, as always, I want to encourage you guys, and I'm going to let my last words to be an encouragement to you guys. It's a crazy world. Things are not necessarily going to get better. Know that you're not alone. Know that you're not the only person who's struggling through things. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone you trust. Try to find someone you trust. If you need to call some sort of hotline for some sort of thing to keep you from hurting yourself or something like that, there's nothing to be ashamed by that. So as the holiday comes and things get stressful with families and whatnot, reach out to people around you. Just drop them a note on the phone or through a messaging app or something. Hey, how you doing? Because sometimes something little like that can mean a lot to someone. And like I said last week, and I totally mean this, it doesn't matter who gets elected. The government isn't going to help us. We're going to have to help each other. And that's all I think is going to happen. We're all going to have to stop picking sides and just help each other. We can still disagree, but that doesn't mean if I disagree with you or you disagree with me, that doesn't mean we can't be there for each other. And that's just what I want to encourage you as we go over through the holiday weekend to reach out to someone. Simple as that. And if it has to be me, reach out to me. I'll definitely say a prayer and all that kind of stuff. But I thank you guys for being a part of this each and every week with me. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless, guys.